Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 79. This is our first ever Dead or Alive Misheard song lyric. And thanks to this week's Episode 79, this idea came to us by listener Christopher B. So I want to give him a shout out, who suggested this Dead or Alive famous 80s hit. So the misheard song lyric is, "You spin me right around, baby, right round like a racket, baby." And the correct song lyric is, "You spin me right around, baby, right round like a record, baby, right round, round, round." Yeah, so not about a tennis racket or any kind of racket, it's about a record. So lots of stuff. I'm so excited to go over this with you because there's many rabbit holes I fell into. And I wanted to learn a little bit more about it. So again, thanks to Christopher B for the idea because it's one that I've been wanting to do. So let's start. So "You Spin Me Round," and then in parentheses, "like a record," is a song by British band Dead or Alive from their 1985 song or album called Youthquake. It was released as a single in 1984, and that's how I remembered it as a 12-year-old. It reached number one in the UK in March of 1985, and it took about 17 weeks to get there to number one. And here in the States, at the US Billboard Hot 100, it peaked at number 11, so almost broke the top 10 back on August 17th, 1985. So about what, 36 years ago already? And musician and actor Gary Kemp from Spandau Ballet, so remember that song, "This Much Is True," fame, described the song as one of the best white dance records of all time. So there you go. So who was Dead or Alive? That's what I wanted to kind of dig into. Dead or Alive was an English pop band formed in 1980 in Liverpool. Okay, the band found success in the mid 1980s and released 7 singles that made the UK top 40 and then 3 albums on the UK top 30. And during their peak, the successful lineup consists of none other than Pete Burns on vocals, Mike Percy on bass, Steve Coy on drums, and Tim Lever on keyboards. And 2 of the band's singles reached the US top 20 on the Billboard Hot 100. Like I said earlier, "You Spin Me Round Like a Record," number 11 in August of 1985, and then "Brand New Lover," number 15 in March of 87. So those are the 2 that broke the US charts. And "You Spin Me Round" peaked at number 1 for 2 weeks in 1985 in the UK. Then, interestingly enough, charted again all the way back forward ahead in 2006, after Pete Burns appeared on their television reality show Celebrity Big Brother. We have that here in the States, and they also have it there in the UK. It also became the first of 2 singles to top the Billboard Hot Dance Club Play of all time. And then as of 2017, from what I can find here, Dead or Alive had sold over 30 million albums and 28 million singles worldwide. And of course, after Pete Burns died in 2016, the band discontinued, sadly. So let's think more about Pete Burns, because I caught him confused with Boy George at the time. So there's going to be a connection to that. So put a pin on that. So Pete Burns, born Peter Giuseppe Burns, was born on August 5th, 1959, and then died on October 23rd, 2016. He was an English musician, singer, songwriter, and now we know television personality because he was on their version of the Celebrity Big Brother. In 1979, he actually found a band called Nightmares and Wax. Interesting. In 1980, changes were made to the band's lineup, and the name was changed to Dead or Alive, as we know it today. Burns, of course, is the well-known flamboyant vocalist and songwriter. And of course, they rose to fame in 1984 with that single that we're going to talk about today, "You Spin Me Round Like a Record." And then, of course, he gained more celebrity status being in the Celebrity Big Brother 4, which he actually finished 5th place, so not bad. He appeared on many other television reality shows, apparently, as a presenter. He's also known for his very androgynous appearance, ever-changing, they say, which he actually has full transparency that he has modified via cosmetic surgery that eventually, unfortunately, bankrupted him and then caused some health problems that later led to his death in 2016. And interesting, there was a quote asked about, of course, people were like, what is his sexuality? Because just like back then, I thought he was Boy George or they were one and the same. And this is what Burns said, quote unquote, people always want to know, am I gay, bi, trans, or what? I say, forget all that. That's got to be completely different terminology, and I'm not aware if it's been invented yet. I'm just Pete. He also said that he always identified himself as male and never had intentions of being a woman. It freaks me that someone could think I was a woman. Don't get me wrong. I love women. I love men too. And I'm very proud to be a man. Boy, he didn't realize it, but he's way ahead of the movement that we have today, currently, that we know of, our LGBTQ everything movement. And he really just was like, I'm Pete, and that's how I am. I'm not this or that, which I love about that. And again, known for his many cosmetic changes. Apparently, he had a lot of injections to his lips, cheeks, and several nose jobs and many tattoos. And one of the first did you knows I thought was interesting is at one time he accused fellow pop star Boy George of using his unique image. Interesting. So then in early 2006, Burns also revealed in an interview that he had spent most of his life savings on 18 months of reconstructive surgery after he had some cosmetic surgery that of his lips that went wrong. And back in January 2007, he announced that he was going to sue the cosmetic surgeon, Maurizio Viel, who performed his faulty lip surgery for $1 million. And I didn't go into detail there because there would have been another rabbit hole I'd fall in if he had won that suit or not. Sadly, with a death, he died in London following a sudden cardiac arrest, like I said, on October 23rd, 2016, at the young age of 57. People who paid tribute to him after his death included none other than Boy George, who described Burns as, quote unquote, one of our great true eccentrics. And then former MP George Galloway, as well as, and apparently he appeared with him on Celebrity Big Brother and said Burns was a, quote unquote, a cross between Oscar Wilde and Dorothy Parker. You don't get more brilliant than that. And then on October 29, 2016, several days after his death, during the opening celebrity dance routine for BBC's Strictly Come Dancing, which is kind of like our, famous celebrity dance, show that we have here. They actually performed to Dead or Alive's You Spin Me Around Like a Record. And after the number, host Claudia Winkleman and Tess Daly paid tribute to Burns and sent their condolences to his family. So definitely missed and loved. Let's talk a little bit about the song background. So apparently, Dead or Alive's vocalist Pete Burns stated in his autobiography back in 2007 called Freak Unique about how he composed or put together You Spin Me Around by using two existing songs and then kind of meshing it together. So this is what he says. Quote unquote, how did I write Spin Me? I listened to Luther Vandross's I Wanted Your Love. It's not the same chord structure, but then that's the way I make music. I hear something and I sing another tune over it. I didn't sit and study the Luther Vandross album, and I heard the song and it locked. I'm trying to structure the music and I know what I want. It's like do this, and suddenly it hits. I don't want to do Luther Vandross's song, but I can still sing the same pattern over it. It's almost like he started even before now what we know now is, mashups. And there was another record by Little Nell called See You Round Like a Record. So I had those two, Vandross and Little Nell, and bingo, done deal. So he mashed them up together. Very cool. According to Burns, the record company was not at all enthusiastic about Spin Me Round. It seems to be the case with a lot of these songs that we're learning about is not loved by either the band themselves or the record company, and it becomes, magic in a bottle, literally, and it becomes a hit. He said that he actually had to take out his own $2,500 pounds or £2,500 loan to record it. And then once it had been recorded, the record company said it was awful. It was unanimous. It was awful. It was rubbish. That's what he said. And just to put in perspective, $2,500 in 1985 is equivalent to purchasing power to about 7,853 pounds in 2021. Literally an increase of over 5,000 pounds in 36 years, which, how does that equivalent to the US dollar? So $11,000 US dollar he had to put out of his own pocket back in 85, equivalent to the 2,500. So I thought that was interesting. And then Burns said that the band had to also fund production of the song's video themselves, which I can kind of see, but it's genius, okay? And then he also added, on top of putting the mashup of both Little Nell and Luther Vandross, the strings part was based on Richard Wagner's classical piece, Ride of the Valkyries. So did not know that. And during his interview with BBC's Radio 4, The Reunion, The Hit Factory, in April of 2015, so a little bit of a year before his death, Burns said that the confrontational attitude of the producers was met with an equally confrontational attitude from the band. And that's led to quite a bad vibe for the entirety of that studio time. So I can imagine lots of heated or, exchanging of words. And he described the experience as a time of intense friction. All right, so let's go right into the ever-loving music video. Have you not seen it or haven't seen it lately like I have? Go to Google. You can see it. What is not to love? The crimped Aquanet sprayed hair with the glittery eye patch, nose ring, costume change from that to a crushed purple 80s jacket with like a boss shoulder pads to the heavens, and lots of gold lame flags waving in the wind. I mean, genius. The video also featured a disco ball hanging from the top and also kind of conjured up the supreme being named Vishnu, which is, for some, I had to look into that, is one of the major traditions within the contemporary Hinduism. And the understanding of Vishnu is whenever the world is threatened with evil, chaos, and destructive forces, Vishnu descends in the form of an avatar, so incarnation, to restore the cosmic order and protect Dharma. Perfect. Having, Pete Burns singing and having Vishnu arms right behind him, making it all right, right? Well, one of the co-directors was the name of Vaughn Arnell, and a lot of music video royalty. He did a lot of videos at that time with another co-director, Anthea Benton. But let me tell you, not only were these two a dynamic duo and known for doing music videos and television commercials, but Vaughn Arnell himself, so they broke up, which sometimes often deals with duos, but he ended up doing more videos, not only just with Dead or Alive, he did a lot with Robbie Williams. So I would say Robbie Williams' exclusive partner in videos. But look at this list. Terrence Trent D'Arby, 1988 Wishing Well, hit them like a bandit, spilling time underneath the sycamore tree. And Sign Your Name, remember that? Sign your name across my heart, 1988. So they worked with Terrence Trent D'Arby. Jamiroquai, Space Cowboy, also directed with Anthea Benton. George Michael's 1996 Fast Love and Spinning the Wheel. They also did Spice Girls, Say You'll Be There, 1996. And then a couple of One Direction songs in 2012, Live While You're Young and Little Things. So lots of information. Thank you to Christopher B. Great suggestion. And again, not about a racket of any kind. It's just a record. That's why we're being spun round and round. But you know what? This is dedicated to Mr. Pete Burns and his amazing style and being ahead of the curve. So we salute you, sir, and thank you again. And if you have any great examples like this, please send us an email to Misheard Songs. That's MISSHEARD songs at gmail.com. You can also send us something via Facebook, Twitter, or any other of our social media like Instagram. And you never know, it might be picked just like this week. Again, please keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.